Hello everyone, my name is Rajesh Kumar and I'm your DevOps, SRE, DevSecOps coach. I have close to 18 plus years of experience working in multiple MNCs around the globe and having in-depth knowledge of DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. So I would like to introduce you one certification program in a DevOps, and that is we call it DevOps Certified Professional. Now this is a 2 months of program, 25 tools of DevOps you will learn, and apart from that you will also get the access to the LMS, lifetime access to the videos portal. It's a certification program, and you will have 25 assignments and 2 projects along with it. It's a completely weekend program, so here you have classes on Saturday and Sunday. So as part of this course, you will learn multiple things. Here you see that you will learn Linux, AWS, Docker, Jira, Confluence, Python, Git with GitHub, SonarQube, Maven, Gradle, Packer, Artifactory, Selenium, JMeter, Ansible, Kubernetes, Helm, Terraform, Jenkins, Datadog, Splunk, and Neuralink. Now, how do we, apply for this? So how can you reach out to us? So you have a WhatsApp number and email ID. So please reach out to us, and we'll help you to onboard this program. Apart from this DevOps certified professional programs, we are offering other certifications as well in a DevSecOps, SRE, and one of the very comprehensive programs which we have is in Master in DevOps Engineering. Yeah, so feel free to get in touch with us and then enroll for it. Thank you.
Okay, so pod I showed you through the YAML deployment. Let me show you through the command. So how do you create a deployment? Then I don't know. So qctl -h here create, correct? So I'll just use the create -h. So -h is a very magical command. Please use it. It'll be easy for you. So what and all you can create. So these are the resources you can create using create command. Out of which deployment is here. So yes, here create deployment -h. And here you see you got this examples and all, and you can use this. So here I'm going to use this one to create a deployment. So now create deployment my dev image. I'll make it mine. It's a simple image. And how many replicas you want? 3. This is called replications. Okay, so here qctl get deploy nothing. Got it. Deployment ready, up to date, available. You see here how many pods you got deployed? 3. See here. And if you do the pods commands I have already shown you. See that 3 pods. Last one is for the I did the last demo. 3 pods you got deployed. So you create it, then you read it. Just again, hold on. Yeah. So you create it and then read it. I'm going to edit it. So edit. What do you want to edit? Deploy my dev. Enter. So many things are there. Slowly you will get focus on everything. But replicas. How many replicas I want? Somewhere here it is. I don't know. It's text is visible to all of you.
Yeah, Rajesh, but the
Yeah.
replica is in multiple place, right? You're not only in one place, right? There's bottom also, there is
Under
one
the
more.
spec. Under the spec. But that if you see under the status, that is a runtime environment. Done. See that magic? Just imagine it can be 3000 also if you have infrastructure in place. Okay, but I don't want to edit actually. This is irritating for me. Do we have any commands which will directly set the replica? Scale command. I don't know the rest of the things. H. And now you can use like that. So yeah, Kubernetes allows you to learn yourself only. Don't need to depend anyone. So here, how many replicas you want? I can go for 20 replicas because I have only one worker, right? And name of the deployment is my dev. So here scaling up to 20. Look at the magic, the power of Kubernetes in the production. 20.
Sorry, Rajesh. So more than 20 is not allowed with the same one worker?
No. It's allowed. You
Okay.
can create 2000 also. I have only one worker. No, it has 8 GB. If I create more than that, it will get stuck. 8 GB
Bottleneck.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can create a few more also, but I don't want to spoil my demo considering more actually. Because if
Okay.
the system gets stuck, I'll have to restart my machine.
Okay. Fine.
See here. Now you want one or two, let's say two. Look at the magic. Here you see two, two pod. All other pod got terminated. So this is the magic actually. So just now I showed you only one of the features of Kubernetes deployment. Yeah, guys, mute yourself if you're not speaking. There's some noise coming from someone. MK. Yeah. So now we understood the replication one to many, many to one. All of you. Hello.
Yeah, Rajesh, something need to be not running on the pod, right? For the many to, I mean, in case if you're downgrading, so from 1 to 20 and 20 to 2, suppose you're coming back, something should not be running on that pod, right?
No, it got terminated actually. You see that here.
Yeah.
Terminated. This is a replication feature. As many
Okay.
pods you wanted within a second. Now I'll replicate to 5. Okay. And you got the 5. See that. So fast, right? I have only one worker, remember that. Now look at the age guys here. 5 second, 4 minute, 5 second, 5 second, 4 minute. Now I'm going to show you the second feature which is called replic controller. So remember that Kubernetes will make sure your desire also. What was the desire? 5. Now I go intentionally and delete that some of this pod and see that what happens. So I'm deleting the second one 4M, and here this is the second pod. One more pod I deleted. Mind it, I deleted. Kubernetes has replaced it. You want to check this? See that. Look at this. 5 second, 5 second, 5 second. So you set 100, it will be always 100. Who will take care of it? Kubernetes. So this feature we call a controller. Whatever you set, Kubernetes will make sure that that many number of pods is always running in the cluster. Did you understand that?
Won't it give the message saying that cannot be deleted rather than you go and check it whether deleted or not?
Go and check deleted or not. That will be done automatically. I will not do anything. I'm not doing anything.
Okay.
Rajesh barely
Oh,
mentioned the
okay. This deleted.
Correct. Yeah, because it's saying it's
This
deleted, right?
I created this incident manually because in a real time, what will happen? Some of the loads, let's say 50 nodes are there, 2 nodes suddenly got disappeared because of some reason, hardware issue, software issue, network issue. So
Hmm.
that is I created incident of deletion. So you can see the automatically they created.
Okay. So it
In
deletes,
real time,
it gets deleted
it
and gets recreated, right? That is the.
or Kubernetes has recreated it.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
So this is the
Ra-
one.
Rajesh, like you have not mentioning the like how much pod we are running like
I
5,
mentioned
10.
no here. Here I set replicas 5, right? I want
Okay,
5.
okay.
Okay, so this is the second feature. Third feature means whatever changes you do, you will have a versioning. How do you do that? So there is one command which is called rollout. kubectl rollout, enter, because I don't know. Here, which command will tell me all the history of deployment? History of what? Deploy. What deploy? My dep. This command automatically will learn. So right now, how many histories? Only one. There is no change in the deployment I did. So there is no version more than one. So if I change this, it'll become a 2 version. So here what I'm doing right now, changing the version and rolling out upgrade also I'm doing it. How? So I'm changing the image number, image name v1 to v2. I created this image because of this reason only. So I'm just going to modify this edit options. So kubectl edit what? Deploy. Which deploy? My dep. I'm going to edit an image. I'm going to change it from v1 to v2. This image is available on the hub.docker.com just for the demos like this. Save it. Now you see that I change this and see the history. So here 1, it is 2. So earlier, if you look at the pod, it will show my welcome to DevOps School version 1. Now if I see that kubectl get pods -o wide, and you see that all the pods got created here, recreated again. Initial last one v1 got deleted. You want to validate? Call 32. See that welcome to version 2 upgrade has happened, and you see that this is the v2 welcome to DevOps School v2, and this is the v1. Now you want to roll back, right? So this I did roll out, and it took few seconds. You were 2000 pods also, few seconds. Now I want to roll back, downgrade. How do I do that? So again, rollout command will be used. I don't remember. So rollout, enter, rollout, undo -h. And now here there is a commands for this to roll back. Roll out, undo what? Deployment. Which deployment? My deployment. And how much revision? Which revision you want? 1. Back to 1. Okay. So here, clear the screen. Enter. Rollback is done. Let me show you. See here, 2, 3. Now I want to check that pod also, whether rollback has happened or not. Here, and open up any pod, curl, and welcome to DevOps School v1. Rollback is done. So guys, did you understand that feature of deployment? All of you. Hello.
Yeah, Rajesh.
Rajesh, undo. If we are on like 10th version, then we can undo only to the ninth place or what?
Up to the 10th version, you'll be having storage default. So you can 9 to 10, 1 to 9, all this thing you can do that. But right now, what I was having first time 1 and 2, and then second time I had a 2 and 3. Why? So the reason is 1 is v1 image, 2 is v2, and v2 here we have a v2, and this is a v3. Third one is a v1. So that's the reason you had a only the difference one, so unique one. That's the reason. If you could have done the v3, then you might have a 1, 2, 3
No, if we are on a 10th version, then how to move to the second version?
like this.
Oh,
Revision number 1, 2, 3,
yeah,
4,
yeah,
5, 6. Okay. So like this. So guys, this is the deployment. Now what is the next? Resources. So guys, what you did, you created a pod, namespace, deployment. And let me tell you, deployment is the most important resources. 80% of the time while deploying, 80% more than that, while deploying the pod, you use the deployment. Okay. So now next is service. What is service then? So service is equal to load balancer Yes, I'm putting in a very simple way, not complicating what. You say service in Kubernetes, that means load balancer. Then you'll ask Rajesh, what type of load balancer? So there is a two type, network, application. So here, this one is network load balancer. So you will say, Rajesh, can I create app load balancer? Yes, ingress is needed. Okay, so this is another service. But right now I'm talking about this one, network load balancer. So this you need. Now the question you will ask, why we need a load balancer? So simple, think simple. This is your cluster. This is your one worker, two worker. And here you are running one pod. Here you are running one pod, two pod, three pod, four pod. Now the problem for me, if I'm outside, understand that if I'm inside of the cluster, any of the node or outside, I cannot access this pod. I want to access all four pod. And for that, I need a load balancer. So I will hit this and this guy will decide either transfer the traffic to here or here or here or here. Are you understanding all of you? So this
Uh,
service is to load balance the pod over the pod network. I repeat, this service is equal to network load balance to balance the pod, load balance the pod within a cluster. Make sense?
uh, so Rajesh, load balancer generally we use it, right, to load balance from the traffic or user. So
Yeah.
only single cluster or traffic can be balanced between two different clusters as well, load balancer.
No, here cluster
Hmm.
represent the one and the load
Okay.
balancer here we are creating for the pod, not for the node.
Okay. Yeah, and okay, let's say request is coming from inside or outside via load balancer. So my request is coming to the specific pod one. So response also will be coming from pod one, or it could be anywhere. So kind of round robin or something like that.
So right now outside, forget about it.
Okay.
If you are inside it, let's say one service to service, one application to another application. So let's say there's a red application and there's a green applications. One, two. This is the database and this is the applications. So here you need one more load balancer. So here this is the front end, this is the back end. So you will hit the front end will hit back end to here, and from here to all this thing. So like that.
Okay.
So internal clusters, you are not running one service, you may have a 20, 30, 50, 100, 200, 500 services.
Okay.
So the question is, how do we load balance? How do we create a load balance to the cluster to the pods? So answer is, so here remember that how many pods you have. So I have a five pods for this, and I want to load balance these five pods. Is a these pods is part of the my deployment. So how do we create a service? So kubectl get svc. This service I have not created. Because of this service only, you are able to access the API server. Okay, so it will be there by default. It's in default. Okay, so how do I create a service? There are so many commands are there. One of the approach easier one, expose. Let's say I don't know the rest of the command, so enter it. Expose hyphen h, and so many tutorials you got it here. So let's copy service here. I'm creating exposing the service. Expose means creating a service. Which one? Deployment. Which deploy? My deploy. My dep. So my dep has a five ports. What is the service port number? 80. What is the container port number? 80. And clear the screen. See that here. kubectl get svc. This is the service IP address. And if hit this one, curl http, I'm hitting the load balancer. This is the cluster IP. Enter. One of the pod is serving, I don't know which pod. If you describe, again, CRUD, remember that. So kubectl, describe SVC, name of the SVC. Here you have a 5 pod, which is load balanced. This is the IP address of cluster and port number. Each is balancing at the 80 port of the pod. So this is the way you can create a load balancer free of cost. Are you understanding, all of you?
Rajesh, I don't understand what is the use of load balancer in that.
See, in this image, you have a 4 pod. Which one to connect? Let's say pod IP address is also keep changing, right? Because pod will be created, IP address will be changed. So which one to connect? So here you are creating a one load balancer for pod. So you hit here and this guy will decide it will transfer to here or here or here or here. Let's say this is not working. So this automatically update and remove this IP address. Are you understanding? So for load balancing the pod inside a cluster, you need a load balancer. In Kubernetes, we call it service. Understood? Hello?
Okay.
Load balancer, why we need it? In AWS, you create a load balancer. Why? Because there are tens of EC2 instance. You don't want to hit the EC2 instance. You want to hit the one load balancer, network or application, and they will transfer the traffic to one of the working EC2. Same concept here also we have. Here you are running the pod where you have a applications. So you don't want to hit the pod individual. So you create a load balancer for it. Understanding?
Yes, Rajesh.
So guys, you can create as many load balancer you wanted for the pod. Now the problem with this load balancer is the scope is only clustered. That means this IP address, which is of the load balancer service, which will be accessible only within a cluster. So what we do in this case? So you can create a load balancer multiple types, multiple level. What is this? So one of the type of the load balancer is cluster IP, the one which I created just now. That's a default one. But if you want the load balancers to be exposed at exposed at every node, then you have to use node port. Okay, so let me create it. So I'm creating one more load balancer, and here hyphen name node port np. I'm just giving the name hyphen name np, and then type here type is equal to node port. So what will happen? Look at this. Here I created one new load balancer, different load balancer, which will balance the 5 pod again, because here, but this time what has happened, this service get exposed. I repeat, please hear me out. This service, this IP address get exposed at every node at this port number. This is the node port number, means IP address of node and this port number. Can we access it? Let me check it out. So here 31308. See here. That means now I can access the same service. Okay, same service at the IP address of node and port number. This is called node port number. Now you can also create one more load balancer outside. This will be managed by AWS or Google Cloud, and this will load balance the node actually at the same port number. So you can access this one. So I'll not get into that right now because we cannot create, but this is the node port, this is the cluster IP. Okay, so in a nutshell, if you want to load
Rajesh,
balance the,
can you describe it again? What is the difference between cluster IP and node port?
so clustered IP type, if it is a cluster IP, remember There'll be one load balancer created here, but this will be accessible only inside a cluster. Okay. Now node port will do one thing extra. It will create one cluster IP service, and same time it will expose that service at certain port or of every node. So look at this image here. If you are inside it cluster, you can access it. But if you're outside, because of the clustered IP range, you cannot access it. But you can access the IP address of the node. So that is a node port. Getting it? So in a simple way, if I say, if you want to access the service, mind it, if you want to access the service at the IP address of worker node, I repeat, if you want to access the service at the IP address of worker node, then you should use type node port. Simple. Okay. If you want to access the service within a clustered, then you should use the default one, which is clustered IP. Simple. Depends on where you want to access it. Okay. So service is the load balancer free of cost, which is available. So now here we discuss service, which will help you to load balance the pods. Now next one, which I'm going to
Rajesh,
tell you,
what about the like it is like app service,
what is that?
like the load balancer app.
Ingress. You have to create ingress. App load balancer is equal to in Kubernetes ingress. Okay. Now after see, if you remember that in Kubernetes and in AWS, first I taught you EC2, then I taught you auto scaling group, then I taught you EBS storage. Remember that? Correct now? So here in Kubernetes, I taught
Yes.
you pod. Here I taught you deployment, and then load balancer. Here network load balancer service, and then here I'm talking you storage. Here PV and PVC, PV and PVC. You able to correlate all this stuff? AWS versus Kubernetes. Hello, hello.
Yes, Rajesh.
Just one
Yeah.
one query on load balancer. Suppose if you want to remove one IP, so for example, you have 5 load balancer, right? Is it possible to edit?
No, no. This is a discovery actually. So what you can do, you can reduce the your what do you say deployment number of replicas. Others you want to have a two deployment, keep it separate. So
Okay.
here I created all the pods belong to my dep should be load balanced by this service. So keep it separate. Got it?
Yeah, Rajesh. Okay. So individual, the management of load balancer won't be happening, right? It creates with one command and deletes with one command.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
Individual. This is called not a cat's business. It's a cattle business. Remember, cattle means yeah.
We have the node manager where you can go and remove one of the node from the load balancer just to make sure that some faulty things are not hitting that one or any performance issue. So those type of management won't be possible here, right? Just
No,
thank you.
no.
Yeah. Okay.
But what we don't allow in the production, we don't allow to hit on the node manager. We external load balancer we create, and here we add a DNS. So right now, because you're just starting this domain,
I'm not complicating this, but again, if you look at the LMS, you have 20 to 30 hours of videos, and each and every topics has been discussed in detail actually.
Yeah, in that case, like what are the users who already in those load balancers? How come they will be shifting to this, the one which you are creating new? Or you will have the
Uh,
backup of the new one already?
no, both is needed actually. Let me show you the visualizations. Let's say both are needed. This is your cluster. This is worker one, this is worker two. And here, think simple, okay? This is your pod one and two, three and four. So you created one service. This service, I'm not creating multiple service. I'm creating simple one service. This service
Okay.
is accessible inside a cluster. But what about outside? So I will do node port. This service, I'll expose the node port. Okay. So this service, this worker IP address, I'll use it for creating a cloud load balancer. So this load balancer will be managed by AWS. This service, which is a load balancer again, managed by Kubernetes. And here both are merging. Okay. So now we got the load balancer. This is, and now this load balancer will connect to DNS. And then DNS means www.devopsschool.com. So you hit this one, traffic will transfer to here. From here, one of the node, let me change the color, one of the node, and from the node, it will come to this service, and service will decide it should go to here or there. Getting more points?
Yeah, understood. Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So now next one is PV and PVC. I'll put it
Uh,
in a very simple way.
Rajesh, sorry for interruption. So the DNS service is global. It is also provided by cloud, or so we have to opt out for that, or it is on-prem
No, we have
basically
a
DNS. Okay.
no, we have a Route 53, no, R53, Route 53 on AWS, which is DNS
Okay.
service. And
Okay.
here load balancer you have under the EC2. This is network and this is a cloud load balancer. Let me show
Okay.
you here.
Yeah.
Here this is the load balancer on AWS. This load balancer will balance the EC2. The one which I was talking about is service is balance the pod, which is inside a cluster. Both need to be in sync for outside people.
Okay.
Okay. So now guys, I'm going to talk about PV and PVC. I'll simplify this process, though understanding is very simple, but actually there's so much of readings are there for storage. So first thing guys, I'm staying in Bangalore right now. So if I want to add more storage, what I'll do, please hear me out clearly. I will go to SP Road. So SP Road, we have, I don't know how many of you are from Bangalore. There is a one road where we have a lots of hardware. So you have lots of hardware, lots of storage. Okay. And I'll go to SP Road and I will buy, claim one storage. Okay. Buy one storage. After that, I'll come to home and attach to laptop. Okay. This is attached to laptop. And then after that, what I will do using the disk drive, I will mount at E drive. This is a manual process for adding storage to my compute, which is my laptop. Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Are you comfortable? So guys, something similar we do at Kubernetes also. So here in Kubernetes, there is a two things. One is admin work, admin of Kubernetes, and another one is user work. So admin means we'll have a lots of storage added. That process we call PV. Okay, that process what we call it a PV. PV means persistent volume. PV is equal to like a SP road where we have a vendors which has a lots of storage. So they are making it available for us, but I'll have to claim it. I have to buy for it. So what is the buying process? We call it user will do that. So that is called PVC. PVC means persistent volume claim. That means admin have a lots of storage for in a cluster
For example, in AWS, you go and create a volume 10 GB, 5 GB. You create a 10 GB. Why? Because AWS management team, admin team have made it available for you. Correct, no? All of you? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Rajesh.
Yes.
Yes. So here you have to, someone has to become admin of the cluster. They need to create lots of pools of PVs. How to create? I'll show you that. Don't worry about that. Then user will come and they will claim one of the PVs. So let's say there's a 10 PVs, so 10 PVC can happen. Okay, like a 10. See, one shop has a 10 storage. I mean 10 hard disk. So only 10 people can buy it. One people can buy 10 also. That's possible. Okay, so that process is called PVC. After that, what you do? PVC attach to what? Attach to pod. And after that, that pod, any PVC you attach to the pod, all the containers can use it, and then you can mount inside a container. So this is the flow for availing the storage. Are you comfortable, all of you? The follow process. Hello.
Yeah. So
So
Rajesh,
now
is
what
there
is
any deployment needed for these two opt out for
admin?
PVC?
Admin
Okay.
will do that deployment. Yeah. So
Okay.
admin
Okay.
can add so many PVs. Now, what are the types of storage in AWS? Can you please tell me?
Storage, block storage, or
EBS,
something like.
block storage. Yes, block
Yeah.
storage, network storage,
EBS,
object
EFS.
storage. Correct. Yes, remember that. In AWS also, sorry, Kubernetes also, there are different types of storage which is available. You want to see that? So let me go to ask for Kubernetes and storage. So many storage type is available. Go to this. Go to this storage classes. Oh no, oh, just a second. Hold on. Not classes. Storage. What is this? Okay, some announcement. Okay, so here so much of things to read, but I'm trying to simplify. They keep changing the page. That is a problem. So this is the, just now I got it one table. I don't know where it is. I lost it. It should be up. I don't have a patient. That's the reason I'm searching for it. So guys, these are the PVs. Admin will add it. So see here, he wants, you can EBS, block storage, Azure file. So many of these are deprecated, but it still work. These are the one. Look at this here. These are the one. So Kubernetes slowly, they are getting into the some different mode altogether. So different. Some of these options are block storage, for example, EBS. This one also block storage. Some of the option is network storage like NFS, and different technologies are there. Object storage, it was there. Git was there. Git LFS, but got deleted actually recently. So yeah. So now because we have a clusters, which is a limitations with a limitation. So what storage I can go? So I can use this storage, host path. What is a host path? Host path is a block storage only. Okay. But the problem with the host path is this storage type, if you use, it will create volumes from the worker itself. Mind it, worker itself. That means whatever the worker storage, they will consume it. This is easy for the demo, but others also you can use for the demo. So now what I'm going to do, type, I'm going to use host path. For example, if you go to the SP road, you can ask, hey, give me flash drive. SSD drive, HDD drive, CDs, pen drive. These are the different types of storage you have for laptop, right? So same way, clustered also have a different types of storage. One of the storage type I'm using host path. This will use the worker storage only. But if you don't want to use the worker storage, then you can use NFS storage. You can also use, if you're on AWS, you can use this one. If you're on Azure, you can use this one. If you're on Google Cloud, you can use this one for block storage. Right now, I am having no cloud integration. So I'll use some of the local one or host path. Okay. So now admin will create a PVs using host path. User will create a PVC and then attach to the pod, mount inside the container. So are you understanding the flow, all of you? Hello? Hello? Guys, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Okay, so now the
yeah,
question
yes, Rajesh.
is, how can we create a PVs and PVCs? So that I'll show you the demo. Very simple, guys. Theoretically, if you understand, everything is simple. So now here I have so many tutorials. You can use this. This tutorial is EBS. We cannot use it right now. This tutorial is with the storage class PVC with a host path. I can use it, but this is a dynamic provisioning. I don't need right now. I want to manually do that stuff. Automation, I don't want to do that right now. So do you have more? Look at this. This is the PV and PVC with NFS. I don't have NFS server, so I cannot use it. This is the PVC and PVC with a host path. This is something I need it. And that is what I'm going to use it. Okay. So now the question is, first question, how do we create a PVs? So PVs are cluster resources, mind it. So QCTL get PVs. PVs. Sorry, spelling mistake. Spelling mistake. QCTL get PVs. I have none. Can I create? So I'm acting like an administrator of right now. Okay. So I have to create a PVs, multiple PVs. So how do you create a PVs? Kind PVs, version, name, and what is a driver, host path. Where exactly in the worker machine? Here. How much size? 1 GB. This will create PVs. Let me create a PVs. So here vi pv1.yaml, and here I created one PVs. Here I'll create one more PV, pv2.yaml. This manually I'm doing it, so you'll understand the process when it's automation. I have to change the name of it, and here I'll make it 2 GB. And I created YAML file. How to deploy, you know that. Apply hyphen pv1 and pv2. So see that I become administrator and I deploy the two PVs. Availability in the clustered, if you see get PVs, you have two. One is 1 GB, one is 2 GB. Available. Host path, one host, this is a name, and so on. Understood, guys, all of you? How do you create a admin will create, how the manually he'll create a PVs? All of you?
Yes,
Hello?
Rajesh.
Rajesh, I couldn't see this 2 GB value change. Can you show me once again the edit one?
I'll share this program. See here. Okay.
Yeah.
So guys, I got the two PVs, which was the job of administrator. Okay, not yours. Means not yours means not users. Now I'll become act like a users who's you consuming the cluster to deploy their own pod. So I need a PVC. First I'll need a PVC. That means claim. That means you go to the SP road and paying by 5,000 rupees one storage. It's like that. So here, what do you want? This act you'll be doing as a user. What do you want? PVC. How much you want? 1 GB. But here, first time I want 3 GB. Okay. So here what I'll do, look at my screen. I'm demanding vi pvc dot YAML. File name can be anything, mind it. And I'm demanding how much? 3 GB. Do you have a 3 GB, guys?
No.
No. So guys, here kubectl, look at this, get pvc. See here what happened. No, I did not apply. And here created, see, pending. For example, I'll put it in this way. You go to the FP road and you say, hey boss, give me the 5 terabytes of storage. Now shop will say, hey, we don't have 5 TV. We have 1 TV, 2 TV. So what do you have to do? You have to wait for in front of shop and keep waiting till that shopkeeper will get the 5 TV. Correct now? Correct?
Yes,
So right
Rajesh.
now, so you have to wait for it. See here, there is an PVC you requested, but there is no PV. So still these two are available, but because you demanded 3, which is not available. So what I will do, I will create this time 2 GB or 1 GB, and immediately it will be bounded. Let me show you. I'm demanding 1 GB, and you see here, and here you, oops, what happened? Something copy paste mistake, I guess. Hmm, I don't think so. David, what is happening? Error is little bit strange. QCTL apply -f. Name. So last PVC also the same name. So you have to change this. Name has to be unique within a namespace. Here you see QCTL get PVC get PV. See here bounded to this one. So PVs are like pools created, pools of storage created by administrator. PVC is like a claiming those storage one-to-one mapping. So this is done. And after that, what you have to do? This PVC which you claimed it with this name, which is here in this name. Okay. This was sorry. This name here PVC this name. You have to do what? So logic. You have to attach to the pod. How? Let me show you. So look at it here. This is the pod specifications. Pod dot spec dot volume, and here we are attaching. So you have to change this code, and here one, and here next step, mount inside a container. So what is the name of the attachment? This one, and same thing you are mounting inside a container here. So here inside a container. Now that means whatever the files you stored here inside a container, it will be stored at this location. Are you understanding, all of you?
Yeah, Rajesh. So Rajesh, by mistake, let's say if we request for access storage, okay. So in that case, there won't be any error comes up on the screen. So I think we previously did, right? So pending status.
That will not be, for example, I'll put it, I want you to think in simple way. If you
Okay.
have 100 GB and you have consumed 100 GB, what will happen? You'll not be able to write more files. Operating system will not allow you for that. Saving will not happen. Copying will not happen. Like that.
Mhm.
It will fail. So now let me do that. So guys, pod, which you know pod.pod1.yaml, and here you have to pvc1 and stuff like that. Done. And kubectl apply -f pod1.yaml, enter. Kubectl get pod, the pod name is this one, and kubectl exec ls, this pod, exec ls later, ls, and then this is the path, it is empty. See, nothing is there. So you can touch some files inside this. If you touch any files inside it, and index.html, I created one file, index.html. Okay, so is there. Now this file is getting stored at these locations. So even though you delete this pod and you create a new pod, let me delete that. So file persistency will be there. Delete pod, name of the pod is gone. Okay, but again you create a new pod, and that file will be there because you did not delete the volumes. See here. So even though the pod, files content data is there beyond the life cycle of the pod. This is called data persistency in the Kubernetes. Pod is gone, data is still there because PVs and PVC is still there at the cluster level. Understood, guys, all of you? All of you?
Yes,
Yes,
Rajesh.
Okay. So now you have to practice it. Without practice, by looking at it, you won't get it. You have to practice it. If I have taught you, let's say 1 hour, you have to practice at least 3 hours to understand. Okay, in LMS, you have 25 hours of detailed recordings for Kubernetes only. First, you go through my recordings, the one which I covered. And if you feel interest, requirements are there for the project, then go into the depth and then study. Okay. Any other questions, guys? All of you?
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.